Hello everyone, my name is Deepika Verma. I am Senior Research Fellow of Batch 2019 under supervision of Professor Rajeev Sir, Sociology Department, DBS College, Kanpur. I would like to give a little information about disability, its types and models through this presentation lecture. So let's begin. First of all, I would like to tell the verbal meaning of disability. So the verbal meaning of disability is lack of power or ability or impaired function of body. It is a general term for one or more functional limitation, physical, mental or sensory. It is state of being unable to use any body part due to uh, injury or disease. It is difficult for some person who is disabled to carry major life activities and problems and the activities which normal persons do in their daily lives. Disabilities can be present from birth or can be acquired at a person's lifetime. It can be temporary in some cases, but it is usually permanent. According to data of 2023, disability uh, released by World Health Organization, there are total 1.3 billion people who come under different categories of disability. And if you talk about India, then according to census 2011, there are total 2.68 crore people who are disabled, which is around 2.21% of total population of the country. Now let's talk about the types of disability and what are the models of disability. There are major two categories in which we can divide disability. First is physical disability and second is mental disability. And there are two models which are working for disability. First is medical model of disability and second is social model of disability. Now let's begin with the physical disability in detail. First of all, I would like to give the meaning of the physical disability. So physical disability is the limitation on a person's physical functioning or mobility. It is a condition that limits a person's activities and ability to function, ranging from moving to communicating and taking care of themselves. Common physical disabilities have a range of causes from congenital birth issues, illness and injury. If a condition, illness or injury has a significant impact on a person's ability to move, communicate or take care of themselves, then it may be considered as a physical disability. If you talk about different types of disability, then as you can see in the picture, first is the locomotor disability, in which person is unable to use the locomotive body parts such as hands or legs, uh, through which he or she takes help in moving. Other is vision impairment, in which person lacks the sensory senses of vision, that is the eyes. One is deafness, in which person lacks ability to hear. In this way, different type of the impairments present in the physical functioning of the body are considered as physical disability. Now let's move to the mental disability, and then let's discuss the meaning, causes and what are the different types of mental disabilities. So mental disability is also known as developmental disorder, and it involves problem with general mental abilities and affects intellectual functioning such as learning, problem solving, judgment and adaptive functions of communication, independent living. and the person's mental ability is moderately to the to severely limited. And if we talk about the causes, then there are many causes such as biological factor, environmental factors, genetic disorders, brain trauma or abuse, and also wrong medical treatments given to the child during birth as well are considered as main causes for mental disability. Here are different types of mental disabilities. Let's talk about one by one in detail. First is intellectual disability. It is the disability that affects the acquisition of knowledge and skills in a particular uh, or any of the various neurological developmental conditions affecting intellectual processes, educational attainment, and acquisition of skills needed for independent living and social functioning. Second is Down syndrome. It is a type of genetic disorder in which a person has an extra piece of chromosome. I would like to tell that a normal person has 23 pairs of chromosomes. So if a person has one extra piece of chromosome, then this extra copy changes how a baby's body or brain develops, and it can cause both mental and physical challenges during their lifetime. Next is Fragile X syndrome. It is also a genetic disorder which is caused by changes in a gene called Fragile X messenger ribonucleoprotein 1. It causes range of development problems including learning disabilities and cognitive impairment. Next is cerebral palsy. It is a neurological disorder in which person's nervous system is damaged during childbirth or trauma or wrong medication, and in which he or she is unable to move the body parts. Next is attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, which was also known as ADHD in short. It is a mental disorder that can cause above normal levels of hyperactive and impulsive behaviors. The person becomes very hyperactive and they have trouble in focusing their attention on a single task. The people with ADHD sitting still for a long period of time. Next is autism spectrum disorder. Autism spectrum disorder is a developmental disorder in which child suffers from many neurological problems and face mainly three types of difficulties. First is lack of social interaction. Second is difficulties in verbal and non-verbal communication. And third is the child is engaged in a repetitive behavior. It keeps on repeating a particular behavior. Next is fetal alcohol syndrome. It is a condition in which a child it is a condition in a child that results from alcohol exposure during the mother's pregnancy. It causes brain damage and growth problems. Next is epilepsy. Epilepsy is a central nervous system or neurological disorder in which brain activity becomes abnormal, causing seizures or period of unusual behavior, sensation, and sometimes loss of awareness. It is a genetic disorder and also it can be acquired during a brain injury such as a trauma or the stroke. So these are different types of developmental disability or mental disabilities which I have explained just now. Now let's move to the models of the disability. It is first is medical model of disability. Medical model of disability focuses on the theoretical framework that consider disability as an undesirable condition that requires specialized treatment. It views disability as a problem of a person or a single individual, and the problem is directly caused by a disease, trauma, or other health conditions, which therefore require sustained medical care in the form of individuals treatment and treatment by professionals. In this medical model, management of disease is aimed at the cure and or the individual's adjustment or behavioral change that would like to lead to an almost cure or the effective cure. The medical model mainly focuses on finding the causes and cure for the disabilities. The major cure practices that are involved in this model are involve assistive technology, which in this technology help people by providing different types of assistive tools like wheelchairs, uh, uh, prosthet prosthetic body parts, braille, speech recognition software, sign language, and different assistive tools to different type of disabled people. Next is social model of disability. It views disability as a societally created limitation on an individual, and which do not have the same ability or the majority of the as the majority of the population. That individual, the social model says that the individual is limited by uh, social thought processes. In this model, disability is not an attribute of an individual but rather a complex collection of conditions created by social environment. The management of problem requires social action, and it is a collective responsibility of the society to create an environment in which limitations for disabled people are minimal. Disability is both cultural and ideological in creation according to this model, and this model emphasis focus on equal access for someone with an impairment is a human right concern. In this way, social model talks about the equality of disabled people. So this was all from my side. I hope you all have gained some knowledge with this presentation lecture. Thank you so much.